Hello, everybody. Welcome to All Things Serious. Now, just going to wait for people to start getting in so we can get this show on the road. Can you guys hear me crystal clear? Rogue. Now, let's see if we can get everybody in here. Hold on. Carolina Moon. Just waiting to see Colleen pop in. Got 3 people in right now. Just let me move this over here. Okay. Set it to this. It's intense having all 3 monitors in. Okay. Diana, how we doing today? There's 4. Let's see if we can flood this. I got a special guest coming up today. Just waiting for people to get in. I'm doing all right. I was live last night until after 4 o'clock in the morning, because everybody in Brittany was like, go live on your channel. So we did, and we just hung out, cracked jokes and everything like that. Yeah, I got a member coming in, coming up on panel. You got that on replay. Humor, have fun. You got to sometimes. You got to laugh. But yeah, I got one of the members coming up to talk. I'm going to give her the platform to speak. And we're going to have conversation. Just waiting for her to get in. Okay, I can finally say it is hotter than sin here now. Okay. It feels like it's 100 degrees. My bedroom has the AC, right? I come out to the room where you can see the door. Silence. I would be physically unproductive. So you can see my front door. So everything's set up in my living room. So I don't have a living room. My living room is where I do most of my work. Good to see you, Silence. Until I get moved. I'm supposed to be moving south, and I'll have a room specifically for my podcast and my YouTube channel and whatever else I decide to do. Just waiting for Colleen to get in. She might be a few minutes late because she's probably on her way home, which is fine. Oh, yeah, Mama's going with me. She lives with me. We already had this conversation, and she's down with the move. This is going to be her last and final time of moving. Just trying to get people in here. Everybody share this stream. Hit the like button, share the stream. Usually, on average, I have a good amount of people in here. Not a lot. Good amount. I know you won't, Mama. Oh, that guy I showed you. Hi, Destiny. I'm just waiting for the guest to pop in and say, I'm here. How's your day going, Destiny? Hey, Rogue, I'm going to give you I'm going to set up access for you and Mr. Arnold. I need somebody to have access to when we start, because I just made Discord. If you guys go into Discord now, you'll see a lot of things changing. I've been setting it up. I'm working on getting just a lot of things together. I'm trying to be professional, so I got people in the background working with me. Yeah. So Destiny, you're doing good. Not liking the heat. Me neither. Feels like 100 degrees here. Miss W. Let me send this person a message and see where they're at. Okay. I just sent this person a message, see where they're at. Because we have a scheduled guest. Hopefully they come in on time. When we get this show on the road. So, yeah, where I live in New Hampshire, and it says 89, but with 52% humidity, it says it feels like 95 degrees outside. Hello, Vanessa. So it is crazy out here. Yeah, I live in New Hampshire, so it is hot. I came out of my room and walked into the living room, and it was like a heat wave. I'm like, whoa, because I don't have an air conditioner in my living room. I have a ceiling fan, but that's in the kitchen. So I come in, and it was like heat wave, instant sweat. So I'm over here sweating balls. That's what I'm doing. I can't wait till I get moved and get situated, and I won't be so hot. Even down south, I have it set up to where I won't be so hot. Oh, there's my mom. She just walked in. You guys might have saw her on camera. That's my mother. Yep.
Hello, whoever you're talking to.
Yeah, I'm live on camera, Mom.
I know.
It's my live stream. My mother just said hello. She's like, hello, whoever you're talking to. That's so cute. Yeah, my mom is not a camera person. I'll tell you that. She thinks that every camera she gets on, she'll break it. Yeah, Vanessa, my mom's moving with me. My mom is going to be moving with me. You know, if this person doesn't come through, because we had a planned at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, stressing me out, it's making me nervous. It's supposed to be talking mental health. Because I didn't have a plan to talk about anything. I didn't have a subject. I had a guest, and we were going to talk to them. And I'm stressing out. You know, we can do. I don't know. What can we do? What do we want to talk about? Give me a subject, and I'll just start talking about it. Because Thursday, we're talking about adoption and foster care. Wednesday, we're talking to Vipryn. He's going to come up, and we're going to talk about mental health amongst men. I sent her a message. So she didn't have Discord, and she created Discord. So she said she would be free after 3. And it's 5:15. Somebody give me a subject to talk about. I hope she's okay too. She's 5'8". My mom's 5'8". Yes, it is the battle of your mind. It is, Miss Arnold. She got attacked. Hello, Savvy's aunt. How are you doing? Okay. That's funny, Miss Arnold. She got attacked. It's a good one. It, uh, so, Miss Arnold, I gave you and I don't need this headset on. I have nobody up here right now. So I'm just take the headset off. I see all these wieners with wings. uh, Hot dogs. That's what they are. But some people call them that too. Yep. It is harder than sin. Now I feel what you guys are feeling. Walking into a heat wave from an air conditioned room into a heat wave. Yep. By the time I'm done with this live, this shirt will be soaking wet. Just sitting here. And they're not even lit, right? The candles are not even lit. It hasn't felt this hot all winter. I mean, all winter. All winter. All summer. It hasn't felt this hot all summer. I've been walking out here all summer and not felt a heat wave. And the thing is I had the window open last night because it was 69 degrees, 68 degrees last night. I'm like, that's cool weather. That's cool. I come out here. Yeah, I have a partial mohawk. Yes, I do. I do have a partial mohawk. Yeah, it is a week. Yeah, I have a partial mohawk. It's it's long. It's long. Rogue, you complain about the heat too. So you need to move to the Caribbean islands where you don't get hot or cold. The only thing you got to worry about there is the hurricanes. and tropical storms. It's just expensive to live there. You had to drive 42 miles? Oh my God. Well, Vanessa A, okay. So I quit smoking cigarettes after 26 years and I switched to vaping instead. And I told everybody that when this vape dies, I'm gonna quit. And it hasn't died yet. Because I don't hit it that hard. I hit it enough to get the stress off. Once this thing dies, I am gonna probably take a break from going live because until I can a mental break. Because when I start talking about depression and stuff like that, but yeah, I'm probably going to take 2 days off once this dies. Um, and I got a busy week this week, so I need 2 days during the week. I'll probably mainly. Man, it's a dead day today. People are busy today, this evening, I guess. More interesting lives, probably. I wish I had a subject to talk about. Should have thought of a subject as backup. Next time I'll do that. Think of a subject as a backup. Because I don't have a subject. I'm just sitting here talking about nothing, and I'd rather be talking about something. Yeah, I think everyone melted. So I'm stressed. Stressed. I'm stressed. So I am. Some of you guys know where I'm moving. I'm moving to North Carolina. Okay. I found a place real decent for me and my mom to move to. It's better than where I'm at now, and it'll be mine. So something I've never had, something to call my own. So that's why I'm moving. You need to be happy. If you're not happy where you are, change. You need change. And there's nothing wrong with change. Change is sometimes for the good. If you don't make a change and you just stay in the same constant, boring, depressing environment, You're not going to improve your mentality. You're not going to improve your mental health. You're not going to improve, where you're at. It's just going to be like Silence said, it's just going to be a constant revolve. Wake up and do the same thing over again. Be bored, be miserable, instead of being happy. April. I'll stay live for another 30 minutes, hoping my guest jumps in. Well, at least you found it. At least you found the meds, Soulshine. That's a plus. Drive safe. It's probably the heat. No one wants to sit still. They want to be in the air condition with the fans going, or be at the lake where the water is nice and cool. Right now, I would jump in the ocean. But so I've been in New Hampshire off and on for the past 27 years. I moved up here when I was 15. I totally forgot because she had the topic and we were going to conversate. She had the topic. I didn't have the topic. She gave me the idea and I totally spaced it because I was going to give her the platform to talk. I can't even remember. I'm going to have to go back to, and I don't have time to go back. Somebody want to go back to yesterday's live and see what the topic was, and I'll start talking about that topic. I'm going to have to go through. I didn't write down the topic. I wrote down the time that I was having with each person. That's what I did. I should have wrote down the topic. I know what the topic is for Thursday because it's so Vipryn didn't even have a topic. I mentioned the fact of males coming up here and talking about what they go through in their struggles. And Vipryn, he said he was going to come up and talk about his struggles. So that's what we were going to conversate, with Vipryn. So it's just, hello, Heather. How are you doing? It's just, it's a hot day. So people get forgetful, wake up, walk into a heat wave, and you're like, what do I have? No plans. Okay. I'm going to the water. Don't get out of work and go right to the water. That's what I would have done. I would have just got out of work and totally forgot about my plans and went swimming in the cold water, especially in this heat. If I knew it was going to be this hot, would have, well, hopefully our guest comes in the next few minutes and we'll know what we're talking about. LOL. Why did I even say LOL? I don't get it. It's just been a long day, hot day. It's 95 degrees where I'm at, and I don't. It shouldn't be 95 degrees in my living room. Thursday is Cooking and Crime, Marina, and Sweet and Sleuthy. And Thursday we're going to be talking about adoption and foster care. That's what we're going to be talking about. Whew. That's what we're going to be talking about Thursday. So tomorrow I have Vipryn coming up and we're talking about just men's mental health. I'm finally going to have a male come up and we're going to talk about men's mental health, which I'm happy for. Because very seldomly do I get a chance to talk to a male up on this platform about mental health, which should be on a daily basis. Hello, Megan L. Unless somebody wants to come up on panel and start a conversation. Crazy Grandma, how are you doing? People are starting to come in. This is awesome. So, Savannah, you want to come up and talk about it? Or April, you want to come up and have a discussion? I'll drop the link. Anybody can come up. You can fill her in. Vipryn, how you doing? We were just talking about you coming up tomorrow. Are you still in the hospital? Oh, you're out. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. I'm glad you're out of the hospital. Road dogs. DJ Road Dogs. Oh my God. Anybody want to come up? We can just have conversations. Well, us men can be that sometimes. Yes. Yes, April. We can be that sometimes. Violet. All right, Vipryn. I dropped the link. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Can you hear me? Am I too loud? Am I too loud?
You're good. No, you're
Okay.
good, brother.
Okay, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, man? It's good to see you're home.
Okay, sorry, I had to mute the stream really quick.
Okay.
Okay, so what are we talking about on here right now?
Well, yes, we were planning on having you come up tomorrow, but we can have you up today.
Well, I could come up anytime, dude. I don't work. If I'm not in the hospital, I'm basically sitting here on my computer.
I'm sorry you have to, you have to go through that, bro.
That's okay. It happens. So a story about what happened was I started having numbness on my shins down to my feet, and then they started hurting really bad. It was like a net was wrapped around my foot every time I walked. I was walking on glass and electricity. It was weird. So I had to go to the ER, and they had to do steroid treatment. I neuropathy, and they called it something else. Starts with a D. I don't know, because you have itchy feet and it's something to do with your nerves. I don't know. I'm still waiting on a neurologist because it's so damn hard to find a neurologist right now.
Diana, she asked a question. The link I just posted for StreamYard, you click on it, and then you follow the process. That's how you get up on panel.
There we go. Pop up the chat.
So that must be a struggle mentally, having to go through that pain.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Like, even though I struggle mentally, like I'm telling you, this getting diagnosed with MS and having all these weird, which people always think I'm faking everything, which ticks me off, but it is what it is. But I have all these weird sensations with my hands not working properly. I can't even do music anymore. And that was my muse. Love doing music. And now I'm starting to have problem with my feet, my legs. I have problem remembering stuff. Sometimes, like, I'm a movie buff, and sometimes I'm talking about a movie. Do you remember that movie? And try to explain it to somebody, and I blank out what I'm talking about all the time. But yeah, and that right there is going to, like, I know I need to see somebody because it's gonna cause issues in the long run. But anyways, one of the things that we were talking about was mental health stuff. So, do you want me to give a backstory on me or what?
Yeah, go right ahead. I'm giving you the floor to discuss what you want to talk about and share your story, man. This is your time. And if you have questions about how I handle things and what I do, I'll share them.
Okay. Um. So a little backstory is, and this is how I believe. I'm not just for clarification. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a mental health specialist. I'm not any of that crap. Okay.
Neither am I.
Yeah, I've lived through stuff, and I keep my mind open to different possibilities of this and that. But anyways, I believe I was born. Oh yeah, neuropathy. It sucks. It does get painful. But I believe I was born with depression. There's a lot of memories I don't have before third grade. I have flashes of memories of kind of like abuse in a way. When I was young, I have flashes of memories of a stepdad that I had that would make me and my brother box for his pleasure, but just socks on our hands, like literally knock one of us has to be knocked out type stuff. Um, I don't ever know if I was SA'd or anything like that. But I know I was physically harmed. But I have these issues where I can't stand people being around me, and if somebody raises their hand just to like swap a fly away, or if I feel like someone's going to hit me, I flinch all the time. I'm very paranoid when it comes to that.
It's called
But
PTSD.
yeah, well, I never got diagnosed with PTSD. That's why I don't bring that up, because I don't think I got diagnosed with, which is later down the road when I went through my divorce. They diagnosed me with severe anxiety, depressive disorder. Um, but my whole life I felt different. I've always been the black sheep of everything. And mind you, I'm 39 years old. I was getting raised up during Columbine, and the blacks versus whites, and the Nazi wannabes. It's like they're not even German blood, but they're doing the whole swastika stuff. I don't have any memories before third grade, though. The first thing I remember when I moved back here to Oklahoma was the Oklahoma City bombing, and they basically shut the school down. We had a old school tube TV in the classroom watching that stuff. Um, that's where I met my best friend. That's also where I almost died. I broke my tailbone. I had to use a pillow. I was paralyzed from shock for 2 months or something. I had to use a pillow. And you get that from jumping out of the swing, by the way. That's how I broke my tailbone. It sucked. But I got the nickname Pillow Boy in third grade here in Oklahoma. But the memories I have,
because you broke your tailbone
yeah,
and you had to use a.
yes, I had to use a feather pillow.
Talk about bullying.
Yeah. Okay. So when I was a little kid, I lived in Natchez, Mississippi, and these are the flashes I have of being in school. Then was every day after school, I would have to walk home. My mom worked, my stepdad worked. I would have to walk home every day, and there was a lot of there's okay. I don't know the best way. Okay, there was a lot of African Americans, and in Natchez, Mississippi, we went to a school right next to a bridge where the train will go through, and we would have to walk under that bridge on a walkway to get to the house. It would always be like toilet paper all over the place, like literally. And every day after school, I would get jumped. I would get jumped by 6 kids that were three grades higher than me or whatever, and they would just beat my ass.
Yeah, I can relate. So I grew up in the projects. So it wasn't on the way home. It would be walking around the apartment building, and there they are. Leaving school and going home on the way home. So my history is I have a different experience, okay? Um, I don't, one thing I don't talk about, and you'll hear it, even though I was the only light skinned person, because I don't use colors. Reason. I come from a very diverse family, so I don't look at color. I look at the person. Um, I, you would have think growing up how I grew up, I would not like anybody darker than me, which was it was false. It wasn't true. Like I had friends that were darker than me, and I had enemies that were darker than me. I had friends that were my complexion. I have enemies that are my complexion. It has, in my opinion, okay, so back in the 90s, because I'm 42 years old, right? Yes, that's when racism was high. It's died down since then. It to me it doesn't exist. If I'm if if you want to get technical, I don't think it exists like it used to. I don't think it's prevalent like it used to be, because everywhere is becoming integrated, which I think, in my opinion, I think every city and state in the United States should be integrated in. That's my thought. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should just get along. We're all human. We all live. We all breathe. We all eat. We all sleep. You know, it's just we have different tones of melanin, and we look at each other differently because of that. Okay. When I moved to New Hampshire, okay, I can make the argument. Okay, at least where I grew up when I was a kid, they actually did what they said they were going to do. I move up here. I was in more fear up here before I learned how to fight and defend myself than I was down in Florida, in the projects I grew up in. Okay. I didn't have to live in fear. I knew it was going to happen, so I wasn't afraid. But up here, when I moved to probably the whitest city in the United States, it's no longer that way anymore. But I moved into the whitest city in the United States. There was only one person darker than me in my whole school. Okay. All right. This is how white my city is. And I'm using this light skin, whatever, Caucasian. Okay. And I used to get threatened. I used to get threatened all the time. So I was constantly watching my back. I'd be like, yeah, walk in, turn, what? Like I was, before I learned how to defend myself, I was really afraid, okay, for my life. More so, I wasn't afraid for my life when I was in the projects. I expected for things to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So we've grown up similar but different at the same time.
Well, when I came here to Oklahoma, though, it was different. Like, I know Mississippi, of course, they had at that time, they had where it was okay to have your, like, that flag and stuff and all that crap. But it changed when I got here in Oklahoma. So when I got here in Oklahoma, this is before we had campus police in my high school.
Yep.
There is the Cowboys versus the blacks versus the Mexicans versus the Indians. It was really weird, but so it's like a 4-race war. But see, a lot of the Indians were the ones trying to be skinheads at school. I got stabbed for hanging out with a black guy by one of my friends, and I didn't even know I got stabbed. I actually, after the fact, and it was with a fingernail file, I believe is what they found. But yeah, and we also had a shooting in my school, which no one ever got shot. They shot a gun up in the air or some crap, and that's where that's when they brought in more and more campus police at the time, and then we actually had a shooting at this place that used to be a hangout. It was called the damn it, Choctaw parking lot. It was next to this laser tag place in McAllister, and there was a shooting out in the parking lot. It was the Cowboys versus the blacks, of course, and the Cowboys, the Hicks and all that stuff, and it was bad. But there was
that's how it still is in out west anyway, where you're from, that area.
Yeah, but it's died. So it's still like that. But the problem is, like in my town, they got rid of the strip. You used to drive the strip every weekend. Friday night, you go and drive the strip, and you're driving to Sonic, to the bowling alley, back to Sonic, to the bowling alley, and meeting people sitting on the side of the road and stuff. You can't do that anymore. They actually do not have a strip anymore in my hometown. It's really weird.
I was listening to a guy I listened to people who are ex-cons who did time and how they changed their life around to better themselves when they got out. Instead of going into the same lifestyle, they they have channels now, social media, so they can share their life. Okay. And one of them was actually talking about the system where what you described, the cowboys are what they call them in prison. White dudes are the cowboys. And then in other prisons, they go by area. Like if you're from New England, that's the group you're hanging out with. And it now it goes by area instead of color nowadays. Okay. Like where I used to live in where I used to live in a city called Manchester, we had a strip too. Yeah, you where you could drive up and down. Now you can't because it's too populated. So you just can't drive one end of Elm Street to the other end of Elm Street because there's too much traffic. You used to be able to just cruise, but it's things have gotten better, in my opinion, over time. You know,
I think it's because everything's more open now, right? Because everything's online.
yep. And then, even though there's certain things I can say, and there's certain things I can't say on YouTube because of they can shut your channel down if they don't like what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I tried to be careful. That's the reason why I don't talk about race. I don't talk about, and there's reasons, okay? Because when you start talking about race, that makes it yes, Miss Arnold, prisons are a race or a status, but the streets are different. Streets are different. Okay. See, I don't like, all right. I grew up in an area where you had the KKK, okay? And I didn't associate with them coming from the area I came from and coming from the family I come from, okay? And how I was kicked off a basketball court because they wanted to protest, okay? I've just grown so much hate for that whole, you know, the racism. I have hate for racism. I don't like it. It's just causing more segregation. I don't know. It's a subject I don't talk about because I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? I get called certain things, and it's by my own skin color that I get called certain things. So I don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain. I have to word certain things a certain way. I don't talk about it because
Well, no, I was trying to teach my son something the other day. That is probably stupid of me to do it, but I was trying to tell him the slangs and stuff we used back when I was a kid that you cannot use nowadays because you can get canceled so fast over saying different things. Um, and then
you know what you do if your son brings up a word that is what you used to say back in the day, you tell him not to say it because that can cause problems for you in your future life.
Yeah,
when you grow up.
so see,
So
I try to do. I was doing streaming there for a while, and that's why I try to. I get a little bit of picky with words that people say around me and stuff. I mean, but like I'm a big I'm a big supporter in self harm awareness and depression. I sing songs about it. I write things about it. What I call dark entries. I have like a thousand dark entries of like little fast poems and stuff. Um, I I try to help people a lot with that. That's my base of my music, and I don't know if anybody heard some of my lyrics, my music, or any of my tunes I write for my stream that are just music, no lyrics. It's all dark. I'm really good at writing really dark stuff. Like I helped a friend do score on a movie, independent film that's basically a psychological thriller, and I write really good dark stuff. But yeah, I try to watch it a lot. Like kids nowadays, like my son's really into this skibidi toilet thingy. I don't understand it. It's a head in a toilet that does this song. It's kind of dumb. I don't. It's so weird.
The
Okay,
things the things they have today is weird. Is weird.
Yeah. So I'll move forward a little bit then on my story.
Yeah.
So I've actually lost 4 friends to self harm. I had a friend that um was a cut himself. I had a friend, and I talked about that in one of the true crime places. I had a friend that that used a train.
Oh my God.
I had a friend that used a gun, and then I had a friend that uh, the last one was a friend that used a rope. Um, Come on, Joe, get up. And that one was a really bad situation because I always believed I could help people and that I was the one to take people's pain and try and help them through stuff. And I learned over the years and stuff that it can't happen that way. Like because I ended up having going downhill when I was going through the divorce. I stopped drinking when my son was born, and I started drinking again heavily after I lost my ex-wife, and when she left, there's a lot of stuff that happened at that time. I'm not going to talk about that because it had to do with my son, but there's a lot of bad stuff that happened at that time. And I actually, okay, so I can't stand it when people say that, oh, you're depressed. Oh, you can get over it. It's just all in your head. It's dumb. It's not all in your head. It's a disease. There's no way you could just turn it off and on. I think it's stupid when people say that crap. It makes me so mad because like I used to think I could control my anxiety and stuff with breathing treatments because I'm a metal singer. I scream a lot and stuff. And I learned when I was going through a divorce, I learned that that is not the case. You cannot, if once you get really deep anxiety and you start hyperventilating stuff, you cannot control it with breathing techniques. It got so bad, I was going days without sleeping. It got so bad that I was seeing shadows come out of the wall. I was seeing like stuff leak through the crevices in the corner of the wall, and I couldn't be in a small room because I felt like the walls were closing in and I could stop. It was hard for me to breathe, so I had to be in an open, big, wide room. I kept on seeing things, and when you start seeing things, that's what I call you're at the bottom of the pit. It's when you start seeing things, it's serious. That's when I started taking it seriously. Like I was like, okay, I actually do need to go get help now. I ended up trashing my house, beer bottles all over the place. When I came to the next day, I came to with my knives sprawled out all over the place. Because at that point, when you hit the bottom of the bottomless pit, the pit has no bottom. You keep on falling, but when you finally hit a stopping point in that pit, it's where you start not liking your passions. Like I'm a big music lover. I'm passionate about writing music, about doing my music and stuff. But when somebody comes and talks to me about music and I'm like kind of throwing it off to the side and stuff, when somebody loses their passion, the one thing that they talk about all the time, when they lose that feeling of care for their one passion, their muse, that right there is when you know something's up. That's when you definitely know something is up and they're going to need help. But the problem is you also want to approach it differently because people were trying to approach me when I was going through my stuff, and they approach and they try to force me to go do stuff. They didn't approach me properly. So when it came to the point when I actually did attempt, had to do with pills, and it was like I passed out, face went straight into the ground. Nobody knew where I was. I was actually out in the middle of nowhere. But the problem is like people don't know how to approach that. They always approach it with religion. They always approach it with, oh, you need to get help. They always approach it, everything's gonna be okay. They always say these damn things that doesn't help. You have to like you have to really hook in what they're passionate about. Try and bring them out of that state. And I had nobody to help me. My one friend that did basically kind of help me, he passed away. He's the one that he died in a motorcycle accident, which I was talking about it, I think yesterday. But
Pause right there, Vipryn. Pause right there. Sorry.
okay, that's okay.
So if people can see somebody in chat and somebody can't, Heather, you might have accidentally blocked her when you were aiming to block somebody else in chat. That's probably the only reason why you can't see her. Because I can see Care in chat. So you might have accidentally blocked her in Bridge chat by accident. You can easily check your block list if I'm correct. Oh, no? Okay. All right. I didn't know. Just saying. All right, go ahead, Vipryn. Sorry.
I just want to answer K-Bird really quick. So K-Bird, yes, I do have sleep apnea and I do have MS. When I did brain scans, I have 6 lesions on my brain, and I have one of my cerebral cortex, which causes my eyes to see double and stuff. When I see bright light or the sun, I have to wear these stupid glasses. When I see light, I start having a really bad headache, and I go from double vision to triple vision. So yeah, I did get a study off of sleep apnea because I had trouble breathing. I would wake up having issues. I ended up started having issues with acid reflux, my sleep apnea. I had to have a machine and stuff. And then my brain, it causes me like it's see that this is different. So like I go to the doctor for what happens in my head and stuff, and then they always say, dang it, what's the word? You're spinning around. Anyways, I don't like that word because it's when I have my problems with my head, it's not that I feel like I'm spinning. I feel like I'm in a boat and the ground is leaning to the left or leaning to the right. That's my balance issue, my gait issue. It's not dizzy, not twirling in circles. But anyways, that's the story on that. But I did have a CPAP machine and it made me really sick. The one I got because my insurance, it made me so damn sick. It was horrible.
I used to have sleep apnea.
Yeah,
Yep. I had sleep apnea and I really hated it. That's why I had all the surgeries I did. I had so I had my tonsils removed. I had my nose operated on.
So yeah, it was called vertigo. That's what they say, and I hate it when they use that word when I go to the doctor. They're like, "Oh, well, the patient has vertigo. He's spinning around all the time." I was like, "No, I'm not spinning. It's like I'm in a fun house and the floor just tilts to the right or tilts to the left, and that's my issue." And then I have to hold myself up, and so when it gets really bad, it's almost like I'm drunk. Like I literally have to hold myself up. I've fallen like 4 or 5 times. But when you live with I got diagnosed back at the end of 2019, right when COVID hit. So it took me forever to get doctors. So once I was able, you live with something for so long that you don't realize that it's still going on. Like pain, you can live with pain for so long that you don't realize that pain is happening right then and there, unless it's really bad, or dizziness, unless it's really bad. So I feel dizzy all the time, but now I can control it in a way that I know when to stop and make myself rest. Yeah, or like you're in a fun house, the fun house with the twirling, you go through the twirling tunnel, and then the floor just kind of tilts to the right or left. Yeah, like I was training to be a pilot back a long time ago, years ago, and I can't even go up in the air anymore. Like it bothers me going up on an elevator, and it sucks. Like my
So
gait,
your equilibrium is off.
yeah, that my gait, all that stuff is off. It's bad.
So have they ever Ms. W asked if they ever suggested specific therapy to help your equilibrium back into balance?
Okay, I saw that question, but yeah, so that's a good one because I actually did a year of treatment this past year. The middle of this past year to the middle of this year. Anyways, I did treatment for it, and they basically can't help me with it because it comes and goes, right? So I have RRMS, so it's what was it, something re-emitting multiple sclerosis or whatever. Anyways, it's RRMS, so I have these flare-ups where like sometimes I'm really, I'm really having balance issues, and sometimes I know I'm not. So there would be days I would go in every day for a while, and I'll go in, they would do all the treatment and stuff, and then I would leave, and then I'll come back the next day, and it was bad. I couldn't even, I would almost fall into the wall. So yeah, I did go through treatments and stuff, but she says she can't do anything with it, with how random my MS is and how I get these flare ups that pop up and make me really dizzy, and then it kind of goes away. So she can't really assess that. So they brought in before I left, two other nurses on it, and there's nothing they could really do. So they just said, if you need help, come and help, but we can't do the treatment and stuff. So, and I had spasms. Yeah. So talking about that, so my hands are numb. So my hands feel like they're asleep. And that's why I can't play guitar or drums or do that much with. That's why I have a hard time typing too. I can't even write. But I have spasms on my left arm, and that's why I have a hard time carrying a phone now. I have to have this little wrap thing on or one of those poppets on the phone in between my fingers, because I could get a spasm on my left hand and it will shoot my phone across the parking lot. Like, it's annoying. I hate this. I do not wish this on anybody. This is the most annoying, stupid crap ever. And I don't like to say I have MS. I like to just say I have a brain issue. That's short and sweet.
K Bird says, he said, I had all those things you just said: gait problems, falling, vertigo, microspasms, brain fog, severe chronic pain, fibro. So I could totally relate to you. But since I am new on CPAP, so when they gave you the CPAP, which one did they give you? Did they give you the one that goes over your nose in your mouth? Or did they give you the one that just goes over your nose?
They were actually wanting me to do the new surgery one where you get the CPAP put in you or something. I don't know anything about that, but they said it's a new thing that we're just bringing out here in Oklahoma now. But the CPAP did not help me. I just got sick. I got sick all the time because I'm doing treatment, and supposedly the treatment's messing up my guts and causing issues with that. So I don't know. I'm having a lot of problems. But yeah, I lost my treatment because my neurologist left the practice, and I'm starting to feel all my symptoms coming back, and even worse because now my feet and my mid legs are having these, like they're asleep and stuff, and this pain.
So your neurologist left.
Well, okay, so I'm on my
without,
fourth one. Yes.
oh my God.
Because they leave the practice. So my last neurologist left the practice. She is not outpatient anymore. She's inpatient. So she goes in. So she doesn't do outpatient anymore. So my infusion treatment, which I was doing at Crevis, they canceled it the month of the month after she left. But see, here's the thing: they send you these damn letters after the fact. They're already gone. You're like, okay, what else do you call? And they're like, well, you have to find a new neurologist. Do you have any other ones? We don't have any on call to tell you to call and all this stuff. So I had to get a list. I called like 50 plus doctors, the neurologist. Problem is, neurologist has to be certified for MS specifically to take you, or they won't take you. Because once you say I have MS, they're like, well, we're not certified, and good that you have to go to another doctor. It's stupid. I had to go, so I have to now drive constantly to Oklahoma City, which is almost a 3-hour drive for me now to go to a neurologist. But see, the problem is like even with the CPAP, it's the lesions on my brain are the problem. We're trying to slow down the progression of that because now that I don't have treatments, they're starting to grow again. And like I said, I have 6. I have 4 on my brain. It's normally on my left side. I have like 1 on my right, and then I have 1 that's on my cerebral cortex.
What are they?
Do I?
What did you say they were?
Lesions. Like
That's
it's
not good.
basically dehemolyzation disease or whatever. I think that's how you call it. No, what you call it, but
Jesus.
well, yeah, I don't know. I was going through the doctors and all that stuff, and I was getting sick with the CPAP. And I mean, my doctor at the time, the sleep apnea doctor, was like, "Well, you're not serious, so you don't need it." But and then he kind of pauses there. I don't
Do you
know.
have an issue with claustrophobia?
I do not have claustrophobia.
Okay. And how did the mask? I'm just going to ask quite a few questions because I used to use CPAP until I had the operations. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Because I used to quit breathing quite often during my sleep before I could breathe through my nose. Because before I've had my nose broken 4 times. So I could tell you how rough of a life I've had. I've had my nose broken 4 times. So they went in. My nose used to be crooked. I used to be able to push down on the bridge of my nose and my whole nose would go flat. Okay. They went in and they repaired it, both sides. And they had to perform 2 surgeries in one on my nose. So after I recovered, I breathe through my nose now. When they removed my tonsils were 3 times bigger than they were. And I will tell you, tonsil surgery as a grown man or a grown ass adult is the worst pain you will ever feel in your entire life. Okay? Like, I don't know what I could say relates to getting your tonsils removed. I cried like a baby for a week. I would cry myself to sleep from the pain, and it hurt to cry because, yeah, it was just so much pain. And when I recovered, it was the best feeling in the world. But yeah, I've had my nose broken 4 times. I'm surprised that they were able to fix it. But I had a CPAP, and it did help. Now, how did it make you sick?
So I would throw up. So do you know like when you go to a restaurant and you eat, damn it. See, I always have these words. I can picture it in my head, but I can't say the word. You get sick from uncooked food or whatever at a
Yeah,
restaurant. And you know how it's like you have these nasty ass burps and that are the same as your farts kind of thing, and then you have stomach problems. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. I know ulcers. They're
Full
called
food poisoning.
ulcers
Yeah, well, that's what was happening. Every time I used the machine, I was having really bad burps and stuff, and then I started throwing up.
or food poisoning.
But food poisoning, yeah, I was having these really nasty burps, and then I would start throwing up, and that's what would happen every time I would use that damn machine.
So you had the machine over your nose in your mouth, right?
No, It was one that only goes over your nose. It was one that went up your nose only.
Oh,
But I did have a mask that did go over my nose and mouth. But I had to switch between those. Um, but yeah, that was a while back at the beginning of this year, basically. But yeah, the sleep apnea machine, it just didn't work for me. I mean, I had this little computer. I had to sit there and do all this stuff on this computer and set this stuff up, and it was just
Rogue says she knows what you're talking about.
yeah, it's annoying as hell. Like I couldn't stand it. When see, the doctor told me I wasn't wearing it wrong. I mean, shit, we went through all the stuff, but the doctor told me that my body's just not accepting it or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think the CPAP helped me feel my hands. My hands have been numb since the beginning, and that's the most depressing part of all this shit is I can't do what I love to do, which is music. So I can't sit there and play piano. I have to do like one finger piano step with the digital thing, and I can't sit there and play the guitar. I can't play the drums. I can't do things with my hands anymore. Hell, I'm a computer programmer. That's what I went to college for. I can't even do a computer. I can't type fast enough anymore. And then the disability people are like, well, you can stand at least. You can still get a job. I was like, man, around here in Oklahoma or where I'm at, you can't get a job if you can't do a lot of this shit. I was a boss at all my jobs. If you have to wear glasses because lights are bothering you, I'm not going to let you work up front. I'm not going to let you work around the customer because you're wearing glasses. That's inappropriate, right? If you can't type, why are you going to be on a register if you can't press stuff? If you can't grab pennies, if you can't grab money, why are you going to be on a register? So where else are you going to work? Well, you can work in the kitchen. Well, I can't feel heat. Like that's another problem is I can't feel heat if I'm getting burnt, but cold will burn the hell out of me instantly. And it's like, man, it's like they're sitting there trying to say, "Oh, you can do all this other work and stuff." It's like I can't type. I mean, I wouldn't mind being like, you know, phone support for like computers or something, and sit at home and do it all day, but I can't type. I have trouble
Yeah.
typing. I have to sit there and do one finger typing. And if you're doing support stuff, you need to be able to type fast, get to the next customer, type fast, get to the next customer. It's all about speed nowadays, man. If you can't do stuff, they're not going to hire you.
So this is the leading cause of depression. When
Well,
you feel useless and you feel that could be a, believe it or not, going through what you going through can cause depression because
yeah,
you feel that you have nothing to offer somebody. You feel useless. You feel like us being men, okay, we're supposed to provide, okay?
mhm,
And when you can't do the things you're used to doing, um, and you're not able to provide for your family, you feel weak. You feel um, like a piece of crap,
yeah,
okay? And we're not pieces of crap. It's just that things in life happen to us that we have no control over, okay? Like with me, all right, for example, I had a slip and fall in 2019, okay? I came out of my apartment building and I slipped on the pavement and my lower back hit the edge of the so say this is the concrete slab and then it steps down, right? My lower back hit the edge, right? And it compressed my spine. So my vertebrae was, instead of being the spring, the shock, it was coming out. So it was compressed. So, and I was going to the doctors, I was getting MRIs. I went and got an X-ray, then I got an MRI, but they had to schedule these, right? They had to schedule all these appointments. And then the country got shut down. So I was bedridden for a year until everything opened back up and I could get into a doctor's office, you know, and get into physical therapy and everything like that. But that, and they were trying to get me into pain management. And I'm like, nah, I don't do pain meds. I want to get it fixed. I don't want medication because medication just is like a Band-Aid. Here you go, put a Band-Aid over it. Let's put a Band-Aid over the boo-boo. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be another statistic. Okay. I don't want to be another number out here of somebody that becomes an addict. I am a recovered alcoholic. I know what addiction is. I don't want no part of it. Okay. So I decided to just deal with the pain. I got, like you said, you have, you know, MS, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have MS, but I have nerve damage. So I know how that feels. Okay. I get cramps quite often, like muscle cramps out of the blue. I'll be doing fine, and all of a sudden my whole leg will have a cramp, and it's just awkward. And I eat a lot of protein. I have protein. It's just like I drank this today right here, 30 grams of protein. So it's so I understand pain.
Yeah.
But they want to give me medication, and I'm like, is it going to fix it? And they're like, no. I'm like, all right, then I don't want the medication if it's not going to fix the problem.
I'm the same way. Like I can't do pill. I can't do Advil. I can't do Tylenol because none of that shit ever helps me. But
Well,
I don't
not
know
only that,
why I do
it
that.
destroys your body.
Yeah, but I will say this one thing. Like I did not too long ago have to go to the ER like a month, two ago with massive pain. I thought I had appendicitis. That's what I thought. Turned out it was a damn kidney stone. And dude, that thing was the worst feeling I've ever had. It was like I could feel it like going around in my organs and stuff. It was so bad. Like I actually had to get pain meds on that one. There was no way I could stand it. Like it was so bad.
Well, sometimes when it's temporary, you know, use, it helps. Like with my tonsils getting removed, I needed it. I know there was no going without it. Just saying, okay, I needed it. But, you know, what I mean by, you know, like my back, I don't want to be dependent. I want to get it fixed. I have to have surgery, and I find out September 8th when I have it done on my left ankle.
Oh man, like that's one thing I want to avoid as much as possible is back surgery. I know I'm gonna have to have something done.
I had a non-cancerous tumor removed from my lower back. That made a lot of pain go away because the non-cancerous tumor I had was sitting on nerves, and it was causing a lot of pain in my lower back. And then I finally had the surgery, and they removed the tumor. And man, I tell you, that was the best feeling in the world.
I mean, hell,
Getting
like
it removed.
I even didn't really budge when I got the I don't know what they call it. I'm not a doctor. The thing where they go into your spine, the spinal tap or whatever. And I could feel it when they were close to my tailbone. I've had this pain shoot from my tailbone over. And remember, I broke my tailbone when I was a kid. But hell, like that kidney stone hurt way worse than the spinal tap did.
Well,
I don't mind and saying I even tell them when I go to the doctor. Like I went to the doctor, I went to the ER for this problem with my feet, and they're sitting there training. Every time I go into the ER, I don't know why they're training people, and they have trouble finding the vein and stuff. I'm like, hey, I'm a pin cushion, and go ahead and keep on trying. I let them practice for a little bit. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, but if they prick you in the wrong spot, it can destroy your back. Just saying.
Well, yeah, but what I'm talking about, just taking blood, like not the back thing. Now, being in my
Okay.
spine, that's a different story because the reason why I got paralyzed is because the bone, my tailbone, was like stabbing my spinal cord and almost to a point puncturing it, right? And that's why I lost the ability to walk for months. And it was really weird. But I'll tell you what, like I tell people this all the time. I don't care if they believe me or not, but like this is the closest I've ever came to dying. When I went into the ER right after breaking my tailbone, I felt wobbly, like the world was tilting and stuff, almost like how I feel now when I have my vertigo / dizzy spells, whatever they call them. But anyways, I'm walking into the ER. Right when I walked into the emergency room doors, I felt this burning ball. It's like a ball, a hot burning ball, roll up my back, along my spine, up to my bottom brain, back here behind my head, and then there was like an instant explosion of heat and all these veins and everything in my brain. And then I went out. Next thing I notice is I'm in a wheelchair and I can't move. I'm drooling. I can't talk. I can move my eyes. I couldn't do anything else. And that was the end of that. Like, I'll tell you what, man, that thing was I swear that's the closest I ever came to dying. I remember trying to keep my eyes open. My mom was holding me and she was like, no, you're completely out. I remember trying to keep my eyes open. And it's like my nerves, my eyes and everything are like forcing themselves shut. But I don't know. It was just so foggy back then. But that was the worst. That was so bad. But yeah, depression is a tough thing, and a lot of people don't understand how to approach it and all that stuff. I'm hoping that my music, or even if I ever do stream or something, like I help people understand it and all that. I had a friend. See, sometimes people are too far gone that you can't help them, unfortunately, because some people already have it in their mind and they've already been at the bottom of the pit, and they're not going to listen to anything that's brought to them. But I had a friend
Well,
that lived across the street.
yeah. So I'll tell you that when you made that statement, okay, um, certain part of that is true. Okay, a part of that is true. What you said. Another part of it, I can argue that. Okay, some people that are at that point are reaching out for help. Okay, like help. All right. That means if somebody is talking that way, you need to call. See, I had a friend of mine that was on the verge, and I told his family, you got to call. You got to call, and you got to come together and get him into the hospital. He's still alive today. For a little time, he hated his family. Now he loves them, and he's doing well. Sometimes you got to make that sacrifice for the better. Okay. You got to make that phone call you don't want to make. It might help. And if it doesn't help, at least you made the effort to do it. See, a lot of people older than us don't understand depression, don't understand the struggle, don't understand what it is. My mom's 76 years old, right? She don't know what bipolar is. She don't know what PTSD is. She don't know what that is. I had to explain it to her. I had to sit down and explain to her what I struggle with every day. Now she understands. Now, when I'm having a bad day and I tell her, Mom, I'm having a bad day. I need peace and quiet. And I go into my room because I'm having a rough day. She knows to give me that space. Before, she didn't understand it. So, but now she understands space is what I need because I need to think. I need to focus. I need to calm down if I'm having a bad day because I don't want to take it out on the person I love. So I communicate. Okay. The thing is that a lot of us men don't know how to communicate. A lot of us men bottle it up until we explode. Now, we can explode certain ways by taking our own life or by taking it out on the ones we love. Okay. Instead of talking about it and communicating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we tried to help him. We tried
Did he
because
go to the hospital? Was he put into the hospital?
no, he was hanging out in the front yard.
Oh my God.
See, that's the thing. That's what I'm telling you. Like, he had medication that he's supposed to stay on. He stopped taking the medication. See, I like to give the philosophy of a mask, right? Everyone wears a mask. You go into a job, you have to have a mask on a job. You can't bring, you can't bring your struggles to work. Leave it at the door type stuff. They always say it. Like, I always give the idea of a mask. Like, so my friend, his name was Anthony. He so he struggled. Me and him talked all the time. He knew exactly how I thought of it and approached things. I knew exactly how he thought of it and approached things. But he was not taking his meds, and it's when he made his decision was already done when he was talking to us. But and that was like the same day we talked to him. But he was struggling with family life, right? Like having money for the kids, trying to keep the electricity on and all that stuff because they do make it hard around the world. And the next thing I notice, I have my son. I'm in my house, and I just hear banging at my door, and it's the little kids from across the street, and they pointed him out. He's just hanging there from a tree, and ambulance, fire department, OSBI, and all that stuff came, and yeah, they couldn't save him. But it was
See right there when I said it's the struggles, okay, of being a man.
yeah.
Because we're supposed to be the king, the knight in shining armor. And sometimes we hit a rut and it's too much for us. Okay. That's why I tell people teamwork makes the dream work. Okay. You work together as a team. When you have a family, when you have children, you have to work together. Okay. And in today's economy, you can't work by yourself to support a whole family.
Mm-mm.
You both have to work. And was he the only one working?
No, they all were working. Him and his woman were both working. The thing was, it's the struggle, right? Because like with his thought, yeah, with his issues and stuff. The same with me. It's like that split second decision at the time where you feel like that this is going to be better for everyone else. You feel like that with you being gone, everyone else is going to be okay, right? And that's how I felt. Okay, let me tell you the story of about the same time that happens when I had my issue with my ex-wife. I did not give two craps about having a child. I didn't give two craps about living. I didn't give two craps about my mom, about my dad, about anybody, not even my best friends. I did not care about anything when I was at that point. The only reason I believe I survived that night is because I drank too much and made myself pass out. Really, because I woke up with beer bottles and my house trash and my knives all over the place. And I'm a big knife person. I have huge knives and stuff, but at that point, that's when I started seeing stuff. And the next day I wake up, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? What was I doing? I was like, I have a son. I have to be here for my son. I need to get help. And that's when I went to go get help. That's when they diagnosed me with severe anxiety depressive disorder, but they still wanted me to go see a professional psychiatrist or whatever. And I never did go do that because I was the only one working. I was working my ass off at Best Buy for my son. And I was trying to help myself and my son. So they put me on trazodone and some other medication. And the thing is like you get to that point where you're in this balance pit when you're seeing things and this is the way I describe it from my personal experience, and everyone could probably experience it a different way, but when I'm in that pit and stuff and I'm seeing the shadows, and I'm seeing things come through the crevices and all that stuff, and I get to the point where it's like, I don't care. It's like, I got a son, I don't care. I got a mom, I don't care. I'm into music. I didn't give two shits, and that was my passion. And that's the thing. When you get to that point, I truly believe that once people they lose their muse or their passion, that's when it's like a critical state.
Yep.
I mean, because I would have been gone if I didn't pass out. Because I was really drunk, disoriented. I probably was thinking about cutting my wrist, and I know how to do it properly, right? Like, I'm not like one of those see me, little cuts on my wrist. It will be straight down. I mean, because that's the way to instantly get it done, and it'll be hard for them to put that back, right? And it's really hard because there's not that many people that understand. Like, I had my friend that passed away in the motorcycle accident. Um, he knew how to approach me. He knew not to say I need to go to church or not to say I need to go get help, not to bring up you need to come with us and all that stuff. He knew how to approach it. He came to my house and talked to me and was like shooting the shit, right? Talking about the music. Did you hear about this one? And I got to the point where I didn't care about music and stuff, but he started showing me new stuff when it came to music. And I started getting interested. I was like, wait, I was like, I don't know who this is. So, like, I listened to a lot of metal, but I didn't know Nightwish. I mean, I never knew anything about that. And then, all these girl singers, metal singers. And that's kind of what got me a little bit out and stuff. And he just randomly pop up to my house, be like, "Hey, we're gonna eat something," and he'd bring food over. So it wasn't like him asking me to work my ass off to go over and hang out. It's like, "Oh, well, you need to come hang out with us," because some people can't take that, right? If you're in a
Yep.
depressive state, you don't listen to
You
what
don't
people want you to do.
you don't want to go nowhere.
No, yeah, you want people to listen to you without you whining about it, but you don't want them to force you to do stuff. And I have so many examples of that. I have a friend that forced
Done.
himself on a girl, or forced himself to go hang out with a girl. It was like an hour drive away, and it was I mean, I don't know. Like, so here's the way I explain it. Everyone wears masks, right? Like, you go to work, you have to go work. They tell you to leave your problems out the door. You have to put a smile on, even though if you're having a shitty day. You have to put a smile on. That's a mask. Believe it or not, that's a mask. You put a smile on to show people, hey, I'm okay, but you're not. It's the same thing with when you're really down. Let's say if you're really depressed, and then somebody comes and says, "Are you okay?" You're gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm okay." That's wearing a mask, right? You're playing a part. You're hiding
I
the fact that you're not okay.
That's one thing I hate is when somebody asks, "Are you okay?"
Exactly. Yeah.
I like how are you doing?
Yeah, like, "What's
That's what I
up?"
like.
Then you
Yes.
get an answer like, "Oh, nothing," you know? Or they'll be like, "Hey, did you hear this the Corey Taylor came out with a new song today? I love Corey Taylor." I'm like, "Oh, no, what? Is it out right now?" And then, it starts a conversation where I forget in the back of my mind what I'm thinking the whole time. There's things, what I call muses, the passions of people that you can sit there and talk about without showing them that something's wrong with them, or that they're having issues. You can talk about their passions, and then they kind of their problems kind of go into the back of their mind. I actually have a song about that. But and it's like people like, okay, a good example is there's a girl. I see these things that I sit there and I say, like, I can see the darkness in people. Like, I see this like black aura kind of around. I know this is going to sound stupid to some people, but I can see this black aura around people. And the way they talk and stuff, I know if they're depressed or if they're having issues, and I approach them differently. Like, there was a girl that I used to work with that would come in. She always had a smile and always said hi to every single person and stuff. She was beautiful. She was so nice. But I would see like little light marks on her face and stuff. So I already knew exactly what was happening to her without her saying anything. So I would approach her differently. Turns out I was correct. She ended up getting help. Um, because showing her you cared and not approach her to like, oh, are you getting abused? Are you getting beat? And all that stuff. If you start saying that stuff, they kind of like back off. People back off, right? And they don't want to start talking about it unless they feel like talking about it. But it's a way of approaching people it's very crucial, especially with depression and thoughts of self-harm, because most people that have the thoughts of self-harm aren't going to sit there and tell you about it. They're not going to sit there and say, guys, I feel so bad. They don't talk about it because they feel like nobody cares. They feel like no one's going to give two shits on anything they say. So they put on that mask, they play that role like, "Hey, I'm happy, I'm good, I'm fine." Yeah. And it's the same thing with it's the same thing with funerals. And I'm sorry if somebody had somebody pass away and stuff, but I can't stand funerals because you go there and you have your family members or your friends say, "If there's anything you ever need, let me know." Well, the one time there's not that many people that actually fall through with that, right? The one time you actually need help or something, they send you away to something else, right? I
Yep.
have that in one of my songs. So it's like it's so annoying with different things people do. People follow these social cues that are repeated over and over and over and over. It's like, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm tired of hearing that. Just quit talking about that. Bring up something that could be a happy memory that I would have about this person, right? Like
That's
it,
that's
or
what that's what when my grandmother died, right?
yeah.
We didn't have a funeral. We didn't have a mourn the loss of. We had a celebration of life where we celebrated her life. Okay. Um, I don't believe in funerals. Okay. I believe in celebration of life because we're celebrating the things that she did. Okay. Not her being in that casket. We're celebrating all the good times. You know, the time where I told a story about how when I was living with my grandmother, she used to take care of people her age and older. My grandmother was in her 70s. He went to this woman's house. The woman said she was getting her kitchen tile redone. So my grandmother walked in, took a hammer, scraped up all the old tile, bagged it all up, took it to the dumpster. When the tile guys came to retile the kitchen, they brought all the tools to rip up the old tile. My grandmother hands him a bill and says, "This is for the time it took me to rip up the old tile. Here's the bill for it." And she got paid. She, I'm like, and this is my grandmother in her 70s, her early 70s. I wish she would have lived to be in her 80s and 90s, but she did. She passed away at 79 due to cancer. Okay, but she was a woman that I respected. I'd never seen a fear. She was no fear. Even in her 70s, she wasn't afraid of anyone. You know how the older you get, um, you tend to, back away from certain situations and don't insert yourself into situations because the older you get, you don't have it like you used to.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't my grandmother. My grandmother was, no, that wasn't my grandmother. Nope, you disrespected her. She let you know. She let you know. She's like, I might not have the hands, but I got something near me. But yeah, my grandmother did not play around. You didn't disrespect her. Nope. She was whooping you one way or another. But that's the reason why I hate funerals. I won't go to a funeral. If I go to a funeral for somebody, I am gonna say something to make everybody laugh. Okay? Because I celebrate people's life. I don't mourn their death. I celebrate their life. That's what they want. They want to be remembered. So
Yeah. Do you mind if I read one of my dark entries really quick?
go ahead.
Okay, so this is so like with the thoughts of self harm and depression and stuff. You always have these dreams like, what does it look like? Because what does it look like when I'm gone? Right? You're thinking about that. You always have that in your mind when you have thoughts of self harm. Like, what is it going to be like when I'm gone? What is everyone going to do? What are they going to act like? And I would always have these dreams where I'm like a ghost sitting on my tombstone, and people are just walking by. Nobody even looks over my way or anything because they don't give a shit, right? So I have these dark entries I write all the time. I have a whole bunch of them. So I have one right here, okay, and I'm gonna read this, and it could be dark. So I would say like your discretion advised, I guess. But cold pale skin, open dull eyes. At a glance, the body seems alive, but it's still and stiff as a board, as silent as the night. Dark surrounds this statue laying in front of you. Regret and tears. What could you have done? Do you feel in the moment, or will the pain stick with you forever? You're just like the others, blind to see. The door closes, deep and cold, dark soil decaying. It's over. Chances not taken, dreams destroyed, and hope is gone. A memory to fade with time and not worth the effort. A lost black soul stuck in the box. But now you know it's gone. You ask yourself, what did you do? And that's basically it. So basically it's like so I wrote that to the fact of what it's going to look like for everyone if I end up taking my life,
Well, I will tell you this. I tell people, think of your child. Okay, you have a child. Think of what that child's going to think, and that's that was good writing. I will tell you that. Okay, it's better to write how you feel than act on how you feel.
Exactly.
Okay, write it out instead of acting out, and that's what I try to tell people. Instead of acting out what you feel, talk about what you feel. Okay. And if you can't talk about what you feel, that's a good way to do it. Write about what you feel instead of acting it out. See, I like having conversations with people because it gives me some ideas to mention. Okay. And you sharing that story, you're writing about it instead of acting about it. Okay. And you don't drink anymore, do you?
I stopped. No, yeah, I stopped. Dude. Like that scared me when I woke up with my knives all over the place. That was it wasn't really an eye opener. It was just like I knew I needed help, and I shouldn't have to fret the fact of not having that one and only love. The marriage, the whole picket fence bullshit and all that. Like I don't even care about relationships anymore, honestly, because
It was
that helps destroy some things.
so it was a wake up call.
Yeah, basically a wake
It
up call.
wasn't. It wasn't. You hit a part of your life. You woke up and you thought about your child. I bet you did.
Well, that was the first thought when I woke up after I passed out from the drinking or whatever. But the problem is, and like I said, I even attempted with pills at one time. But the problem is like when you get to that point where your inner passions and stuff don't mean shit, or somebody you love to death, like my son, doesn't mean anything. When you get to that point, it's a very dangerous point, right? Like if I get to the point where somebody's talking, this is another thing I was trying to point out is my best friend that realized I was having issues and stuff. Everyone else is trying to be friends with me and stuff, but they noticed that I didn't have the passion for the music when talking about music and shit anymore. That should be a red flag without me ever saying I have an issue, right? My
Yeah.
passion, my one thing that I live for is my son and my music. And I sit there and I don't give a shit about my music. That's a red flag. And people don't know how to see these little signs. And all because you see the sign doesn't mean to approach and say, "Oh, are you having a bad day?" or "Oh, are you okay? Is everything's going to be okay?" Like I hate when people say that. Everything's going to be okay because
I,
everything's not okay until you
I,
make it okay.
I have a question to ask you. How often do you get a hug?
I can't stand hugs. Like I get a hug from my son, but other than that, I do not stand being I can't stand being touched. Like my grandma or my mom, I have a hard time hugging them. I'll just give them a really fast pat on the back type thing, but I can't stand hugs. I can't like that's one thing. Like I never fully understood love per se until I had my son, but that's a different story. The fact that that's my blood. I want him to grow up better than I did and have better opportunities than me because I never had help with music. I could be professional right now, making millions of dollars possibly or something, but I never had help with music. I kind of had to work on everything myself and to find my own muse, I guess.
So, Vipryn, what it sounds like is, I'll be honest with you, right? I've met a few people that, okay, that have never experienced a hug, okay? And I had one person said that I'm not huggable. I don't like hugs. And I gave them a hug. And when I gave them a hug, listen what happened. And I'm not lying. This is the honest truth. I gave them a hug. They started crying. Okay. Because they felt the energy coming from me. Okay. When I give somebody a hug, I just don't give them a hug. I give them a hug with the energy behind it. Okay. Because it's heart to heart. When you give a person a proper hug, it's heart to heart. Okay. And if you really care about somebody, even a stranger, I care about everybody. I love everybody. Okay. There are people that I don't like. I still love them. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Mhm.
Hate's a strong word. I don't hate anybody. I might dislike people. I might not, I might not want to be around them, but it's, I still love them. You know what I'm saying? And trust is correct. Okay. If I walked up to you and I had a conversation with you and we were face to face and you got to feel the energy that I came off to you at, right? And I said, come give me a hug. You would, at first, you'd be not like it. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, that's understandable. But over time, you'd let me give you that hug and you would feel the energy and it would take weight off your shoulders. Because that's what a hug does, is it takes weight off you. You probably break down and cry, but that's fine. Okay.
I probably actually probably pass out from anxiety. I'll get really bad anxiety
And you'll wake up in tears. Just saying.
because
I love you,
somebody.
bro. I'm just saying, Viper. I would. You don't have claustrophobia. You know what it is? Is the anxiety is from what happened to you as a child, the abuse.
Yeah, I would like to believe that. I mean, I don't know. I still need to see somebody. I know I have probably suppressed memories or some shit. I mean,
I, I have I have
I have
suppressed
flashes.
memories too.
Yeah, I have flashes of stuff that happen every now and then. My mom denies most of it and stuff, but I have these flashes of stuff. And there's just so much. Like I have a whole story. Like I have a whole story from back what I can remember in third grade. Before I came to Oklahoma when I was in Mississippi, Natchez, all the way up to now. Like I actually told somebody that was a friend, a girl that I had a crush on for a very long time. I met her on a video game, but we were friends for 17 years. And she's always been there for me. She always had like this kind of sense, like when something was happening with me and I was in a high or a really bad depressed state. And she would always send me messages and send me like funny pictures and stuff because I'm kind of a nerd. I'm a metalhead nerd, guys. But and I
Are you
always
and her
thought she
still
was
friends?
um yes, but no. Like I had to completely try and cut ties with her just because I started realizing I was having all these like things in my head, like she's the one, type stuff, and it was stupid. But we still talk every now and then. We're just not, and she actually told me I should have went. She knows my story, and it's kind of scary to tell people my story just because you get those people that get scared of you because they hear all the stuff that's happened when you're young. Because most people believe, and this is the whole thing with the stigma. Most people believe you're going to be a child abuser or you're going to be an you're going to be abuser for your spouse and all this different stuff. Or a killer, right? Because I do have dark things. I'm a dark person. I'm not religious. I'm a dark person. I actually write, and that's one thing that scares me about going to get help too. I know I need mental help and all that, but I'm afraid I'll lose my strength of what I can write because I can't write happy stuff. I never could, but I could write about depression and self harm and all that stuff really well
So I
from
have a question.
experience.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Here's an idea, right? Write about your child. Write something happy about the kid. Try that. Okay. Try that and see what happens.
Well, okay, so you want the honesty, the honest part of it. Like
Yeah.
if you've read my lyrics or listened to my music, um, I do the darkness to the light, right? So it's kind of like um, you're having self-harm, thoughts of self-harm, all this stuff, and then the outcome that could happen. And to be honest with you, when I'm writing, that's what comes into play, my son. What can happen? So like um for example, I can give you an example of one of my songs. So I have a song called Savior. And no, it's not about Jesus or God or anything. It's about you saving yourself. Um, that's one of my songs that I get a lot of hate from a lot of religious people for that song for some reason. I don't know. But so the chorus of it is, can you save yourselves? It's your life, bring them hell. Can you save yourselves? It's your life, you won't fail. Can you save yourselves? Stand up, you know what's right. Can you save yourselves? And you must never change. You must never change. You must never change. Anyways, it's hold on to who you are. We weren't built for failure. Keep on holding on. You can be your savior. So that's the light part of it because the song actually starts off with the darkness of it, right? Like it starts off with, and that's the best thing about music, guys. Music is metaphors. Everyone can get a different feeling from the lyrics and the sound of a song. So one person, it might be about a significant other, or another person, it might be about their child, another person, it might be about a brother or a sister. Everyone gets a different feeling from it. So this song starts off, they think they can change us, feel like they're ones who save us. And it's hell no. And basically the song is do you ever wonder the reason false causes with dark intentions? This hate is open season, feeling sick with human depletion. Corrupt idols cause dark desires, changing souls for this empire. Don't change because they're liars. One world rise. We are fighters, or you are fighters. So
I don't understand why you would get so much
hate.
hate. Yeah, I don't
Well,
understand because
for one,
just
it's metal
because.
music,
Yeah,
and for two, it's about. Okay, so this song is called Savior. It's about breaking control, right? You can't, like your parents, a lot of parents will raise their children that you have to be this way, you have to be this, you have to dress like this, you have to do this, you have to listen to this. And it's about breaking that control. And even with the government, this could be used against the government, right? To break the control. They do all these things that are dark intentions, like these causes, like some
yeah. Well,
places try to do like,
yep. Let's. Yeah, I know what you're getting ready to go
yeah.
to. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah. So like, and it's dark, but it's really dark because I also have my other song which is called Wash Away, and it's about trying to wash your whatever's in your mind, and clear your mind and start over again. Wash away.
You ever thought about being a ghostwriter?
No, I thought about it once, but I would much rather, because when I write my music, when I write my stuff, I'd like to visualize how I want to feel, because certain songs feel a certain way. I want the feel of it, if you understand what I mean.
But if
Um,
you can't perform and play the instruments, and you know, there's probably some songs you got there that need to be heard, like that song you just were talking about.
yeah.
Okay, that song might help somebody. You
Well,
know,
yeah. I have it. It's actually on
oh,
Spotify.
oh,
Yeah.
you have recorded it.
Yeah,
Okay,
that I have that one and Savior. Savior and Wash Away are actually recorded. They weren't mastered though. That's the problem. I got kicked out of it because it was too dark for them. I got kicked out of the project. Yeah, I got kicked out of the project. So they didn't get to master it. So there's a part in Savior at the beginning, and if anybody's musically inclined, they'll understand I'm sharp. Like I'm singing. I'm not a singer, I'm a screamer, but I'm singing and I'm sharp. So you can kind of hear it. It's like or flat,
so
sharp
you
and flat.
do
But
you do um, what bands can I think of that I've heard? Because
I've done
I have a friend of mine that used to live in Oklahoma. His name was Jeremy. Okay. He used to do metal music too. He was a screamer.
Mhm.
Okay. What's crazy is most of those bands are religious. Most of the bands in that genre are religious.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got like As I Lie Dying,
Yep.
even though the singer just was in prison for trying to kill his wife, but he's out again. But they're considered Christian metal.
A lot of them bands are Christian metal bands.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that until I really started listening to it. It's not my genre of music.
Well, see, and it's also about accepting differences too. Like there's a Slipknot song. If you're 555, then I'm 666. Well, it's like about it. It's that song's kind of about the difference. You can't all because you're this. It doesn't mean the other person doesn't. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't think, see, no one's supposed to judge. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No one's supposed to judge. And that's too common in this world today is too many people judge. Okay. Instead of trying to figure out why they are the way they are, they judge them for what they are and
Mm-hmm.
who they are. Okay. Like people have judged me. Okay. Because of how I am. All right. And I could care less if you accept me or not. You know, I know who I am. I know what I am. I know what I do. I know what I can do. I know what I have to offer. I know what I don't have to offer. Okay. And if you can't accept me for me, then whatever. Okay. You don't accept me. It is what it is. And that's how you have to look at it. Okay. I don't care what people think. I don't. Okay. I use this platform to try to help other people. Okay. That's the only reason why I use this platform is to try to help other people get the help they need. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Change. Not
Yeah.
change for anybody, but change for yourself. Change
Yeah.
for the better. Okay. No one can force you to change. And if you're forced to change, it's worse in the end. Okay. You change for yourself. If you get into a relationship and she gets with you the way you are, stay the way you are. If she tries to make you change, it's not worth it.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's why I hate going out and meeting people because and it might not be like this for every girl, but here in Oklahoma, at least, like when I meet a girl, they're all like so excited. Oh, you're a singer, you do this and that. They're so happy, and then they're like, "Well, I like Batman." I was like, "Well, I'm more of a Marvel person, but Batman's cool." And so then I get in my head like, "Oh God, I'm gonna." When we're getting presents and stuff, she really likes Batman or Zelda. I'm gonna get that stuff for her, or she really likes this or that, get that stuff for her. She likes to paint, so I get painting stuff for her. And it turns out that it's only like putting on a play, right? Just saying that because they wanted to get with me or they wanting me to see that like me and interested. I don't know. It's really weird.
You know what I would say? That this right here, okay?
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh man.
the lead singer of the Killers is a Mormon. His mother-in-law had to get baptized to be able to go to the wedding.
See, that's I've always been considered that people always call me the demon of the family, the black sheep. I'm the evil one all the time.
Oh,
I can't stand that type of stuff, man.
on my mom's side of the family, yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. No one really talks to me. I have to reach out to them and say hi. On my
Yeah,
dad's
and
side of the family, I only really talk to one person, and that's my uncle. You
yeah,
know,
I don't let the hate mess with me. Really,
I
I just
don't
try to keep
either.
myself from it. I mean,
It
I
is
just
what
don't
it
want to
is.
get, yeah, I just don't want to get swatted in all these issues that people are doing online now. That's why I really don't stream anymore, is because I just want to protect my son because I have to keep him most of the time. But like, I don't care what people think of me, dude. I'm like, I've always been treated like crap my whole life. I've always been the black sheep. I don't really give two craps. I was listening to Corn back in the day. I was listening to Slipknot back in the day, and
Do you know?
Static
Do you know?
X.
So my cousin was the lead singer of Soundgarden.
Oh, really?
You know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin was the lead singer of Soundgarden. Rest his soul. He's no longer with us, but yeah, he was the lead singer of Soundgarden. That's another thing I want to talk about is see, there's things I want to talk about that I can't talk about on here because I don't want to get my channel shut down. Yeah.
Doc. Yeah.
Okay. So that's why I created Patreon, and I'm trying to get more people to join Patreon so I can go on there and talk about Chris Cornell.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to do music back in the day. I actually got to meet Dave, the original singer of Drowning Pool, before he passed away.
Oh yeah, I love Drowning Pool. Do
Well,
you
I
know
like
what's
the old Drowning Pool,
crazy?
not new.
You know what's crazy is the song "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor," right?
Hmm.
They try to make that song worse. Make people were saying that song was worse than it really was. It was about teenagers who loved rock music, dancing in the mosh
Yeah.
pit. That's what that song was about.
That song is what gets me to win karaoke competitions in Oklahoma.
So yeah,
Dave was awesome. He used to come over to the recording studio in Oklahoma City, and even though they're from Texas, but he used to go to Oklahoma City all the time for the recording studio, and that's how I met him because I was trying to get into the music scene and all that stuff back when I was a kid.
you
Which
know the
it's not.
song. You know the song "Freak on a Leash."
Mm-hmm.
You know what that song's about. I'm not gonna just yes or no. Do you know what that song's about?
Yes, I'm a big fan
Okay.
of
All right. So
JD.
yeah, that song relates to me. Okay. But yes,
Like,
this was a really good conversation, Vipryn.
yeah, thank
Thank
you. It
you.
wasn't.
Thank you for sharing a lot about yourself. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You're welcome. And I can, I mean, I can always share more stuff, or if you ever have anybody ever has questions, just feel free to ask. I can even help you through Discord. I am a computer nerd slash. I do this stuff. I like moderate like 7 different Discords. It's basically I do everything at home.
so I have, if you go into my Discord, right, I have a section for support. I have a section for vent. I have a section for memes. I have a section for poetry. I have a section for music. And I have a section AFK. All right. I have, yeah. So I have link templates, I have, you know, we could do voice chat. If people wanted to do a voice call on Discord, we can do a voice call on Discord and actually talk more about things that we can't talk about on here too.
You can even stream it
Okay.
on there for people, and keep it where people just watch and not really talk voice if you wanted to.
Yes. So what I'll probably do is eventually. So on Patreon, what I want to do is I want to sell merchandise on Patreon because you have that option to do that. Okay. So, I want to be able to talk about things and share things. So I could do voice chat. You just can't, like, it's hard to do screen share. You can't do screen share on Discord. Okay, where I can bring up images and stats and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That you can on Patreon. Okay, where you could do screen share. Okay, because there's a lot of things I want to talk about that are very personal to me that needs to be talked about to more people and they're well aware. Okay, that's what I want to do. That's the reason why I created Patreon. So I already have one person subscribed. I'm just trying to get more people to subscribe to my Patreon, and go from there. So, because there's some things about mental health that I want to share that I've gone through that I can't really touch, here. There's a lot of things I want to talk about that I can't talk about here, you know, because it's sensitive. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but I appreciate you coming up and we having this conversation.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
All right. I'm getting ready to jump off here. We're friends in Discord, I believe. If not, I'm going to send you a friend request.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, I might have to send you a friend request because I block things. Because remember, I told you I was like a streamer and doing all this stuff, and you get like hundreds to 1,000 people like trying to get you to add me as a friend, add me as a friend. It gets so annoying, and most of them are just kids, anyways.
Okay. So send me a friend request
Okay.
and we'll go from there. Okay.
Okey-doke. Sent.
I got it. All right. Accepted.
Cool.
Okay. So if anybody else wants to join Discord, put a 1 in chat and I'll drop the link. But did you check out the layout of Discord?
Yeah, I looked at it when I first came in.
Okay, so I'm doing more things.
I mean, it's a slow process. There's like bots you can get to do a whole bunch of different stuff. Anything you could think of can be done in Discord. Like you're talking about the streaming thing, as long as you connect your you can do streaming all through Discord as long as you connect your OBS or whatever to your Discord, and you can sit there and screen share and all that stuff. I use 2 screens. I actually can hook up 4 screens if I want to, but I have you and chat on another one, and then I can bring up different sites. I have really good setup though. I have a really good audio computer setup. I have a really strong computer. And that's what I was trying to tell Brittany. I keep on trying to tell her, like, she keeps on having those audio problems. I can help her 100% with that stuff if she gets a hold of me.
Okay.
because a lot of the times it has to do with on her case it has to do with I think it's memory. It sounds like memory issues. But I could always, you just ask me a question, I could always answer the best I can, or do a video showing you how to do certain stuff. Like, for example, because Brittany does the same thing with her stuff. They keep on bringing out this link to join Discord that expires, but you can get it to where it doesn't expire at all, and you can just sit there and have it posted to where it's like, okay, it's right here. Go to my account, press it right there. The link's right there. So you can set it up to where it doesn't expire. And then you could also set it up to where everyone has to be a verified account, because that's one thing trolling wise that I know she was getting hit with, Brittany, is you can actually lock it down to where it's more secure for somebody to join your Discord. That has to be completely verified, or has to be a Discord member for a certain amount of time before they can even do anything. You can set it all up to be like so precise and secure and all that different stuff. Just if you have any questions about it or anything, I just let me know, and I can always try and help you with that stuff. No, so if you pay attention, April, her audio messes up every time she brings up a link. If you notice, she's like, "We're going to sit here, wait," and then you sit there and wait, and it's like, "Okay," and then you hear her clicking. She brings up the link or a video or something, and she might not bring it up on screen, but she has it sitting in the background, and that right there is when her audio starts turning into robot sound. That's memory usage issue. Because if I have too many videos up, my computer does the same thing. Sometimes my professional mic right here sounds like a robot because I have too many videos open. I could have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could have 8 videos open and playing at the same time, and then I start sounding like a robot because it's memory usage. She can press Control Alt. She can press Control Alt Delete, and then she can bring up her taskbar, her task manager, and she could sit there and look at her memory usage. And the memory usage is going to be definitely on the video card side of it, and that will tell her if it's at 100% and it starts doing the hiccups and stuff like that. Then you're taking away the memory for the video, right, and for the web page, versus you have your audio still going on, so your audio has to have memory too to even work. And if you're out of memory, then your audio is not going to work. Your audio is going to be like all wonky and robot sounding. It might skip, it might speed up, it might slow down and sound like they're going so slow. All
Yeah,
of that.
that's what I'm gonna do is go in and start deleting things. So I'm not deleting any video I dropped on YouTube, but I'm gonna start deleting videos I have on StreamYard.
Yeah, well, yeah, but StreamYard, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, but it's just I don't know. It's like when it comes to computers, it's very fishy, and especially when you're doing stream, and if you're running StreamYard, or if you're running OBS, or if you're running what's the other one? What is it called? Split. If you're running Split Broadcaster, NVIDIA Broadcaster, which that has really good compression on the sound. I use actually that right there on my computer, but you have all these different OBS things, Streamlabs, that when you start having all this stuff playing at the same time or up, then you start having issues, because it's like when you're out of a 4-lane road when there's no more lanes, how do you go into the 5th lane, or how do you go on this other side? It's like nowhere to go. That's kind of how it works with the RAM. Yeah, it's hard for people to describe. I actually have a sales technique. Because I was manager at Best Buy for computers. I have a sales technique to help explain it better. If I need to explain it better, like how cores work and all that different stuff. because I've explained computers to help somebody understand how it works by somebody that's a person that builds boats, somebody a cook, some like an elderly lady that cooks all the time. I have helped sell computers and explain computers that way in a cooking terms. You could describe it in any way possible, honestly, but I have to talk to her though. If she ever get a hold of me, she needs help with her audio. Have a good evening,
All right.
Kangaroo.
Yes, I'm getting ready to jump off of here. Brittany's getting ready to go live on her channel. So,
Okay, well, thanks for inviting me, man. And anytime I'm available, I'm home 24/7 basically. So send me a message. I can always get on any chat or anything if you want me on there.
okay, brother. Thank you for your time.
Have a great day.
You too. All right, guys. I am heading off here. Thank you guys for joining chat. And Brooke, did you get the link for Discord? Let me see. Yeah, you're already in my Discord, Brooke. Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought you were already in. Okay. But you guys, thank you for joining my live. I appreciate everybody here. Um, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I have to do some changing around. Get some other guests to come up. Maybe you can come up sometime, Brooke, and conversate. So, all right, everybody. I love you guys. Thank you for coming through. If anybody in Discord wants to come up and conversate and talk about things, let me know. And I will have you guys come up. Diana, you're invited too. So if guys want to come up, I'm open. We can schedule a time, send me a message in Discord, and come up and talk. All right. You guys have a good night. And all things serious. Out.